Hey guys, this is a tutorial on a different method to solve layer by layer, kind of going off of what SuperAntonioVivaldi did in his series of layer by layer solves. So I'm going to do it on a 6x6 just to kind of get the feel for what he was getting at earlier. So the difference I saw in the solve was that I found out that I use a 3-cycle edge swap in order to place edges within the second through fifth layer without messing up the layers beneath it or the centers. So here's the idea of what goes on. So what I want to do is I want to place this piece right here, which is the red and blue, which is right here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cycle these three without messing up anything else. And the algorithm for that is R, U, bring what you have with L prime, bring it back with U prime, R prime. Then you want to match back up with a U, and then bring it back down with L, and then finish with UI, and all you did was cycle those three pieces. So here I have the cube, and I've already solved the first layer, because I assume that you already know how to do that. So from here, we're going to start solving the next layer, and my method, you can either start with the centers or with the edges. So this one will start with the edges, so we'll bring down some reds, and the same method SuperAntonioVivaldi uses. So just filling in these reds here. So what I like to do is, because now no other reds can come into this slot, I'm going to switch over and start on a different color and continue to put in centers as I go. And this I assume you already know how to do, because it's just simple switching around of center alignment or centers, and so it should be rather simple. So just going through it kind of quick here. And here's another. So what do we have? Okay, so now I'm gonna have to start bringing in colors from other areas, and I know this one can come down, so I'll bring that one out to the top, and then from there bring it into the center. So we got red done, got orange done, and we just need an orange and a blue, or green and a blue. So now we're gonna find a blue, which we can kick this blue out and bring it into the top layer, and then bring it into this blue layer here. Now need a green. Whoops. Get a little autopilot, so things start to mix up as you start going quicker and quicker. So now we have every center done. And this is where I think the difference is from mine and SuperAntonioVivaldi's, and the fact that when I put in my edges, the way I do it, it doesn't mess up the centers. So the way that you can do it is you can either do it the way he does it, where, see, this one would go down to here. So you can use your regular edge placing algorithm, which isn't too difficult, so then it's in there without messing up any centers. But also what I do is so we're going to find the orange and the blue. So it's this one, so we're going to kick out the blue and the red, which is up here. So we know this one has to come down here. So what I do is I figure out which side it needs to go on, And so I place it the opposite side of where this one is. So if I kick this one up, it's across the way from this one. So then it would be, like an algorithm would be R, U, take whatever slice it is, match it up to the edge corner that you need to do, bring it back, down, and then you need to match up this white again. Match up the whites, and then bring the whites back down. So you have your edge placed without messing up any centers or anything that you've done so far. So now that you know what the basis of it is, I can actually tell you what the algorithm would be. So if we find this, or it's blue and orange here, so we would kick it to the opposite side that it needs to go to, bring it up, which this would be the left-handed version. It would be L prime, U prime, L, U, F, U prime, Fi, and that's what would bring it in. So now we do the last one here, which is the green and red, which I see is here. So usually what I would do is I would use cuboid strategy and just flip it down there. So what I would do is do 2R, use only this middle slice, U, 2R, UI, 2R, which it puts it in place but kind of kicks the top out. So 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R, and that places the entire second layer. You continue the method, solving centers and edges. It doesn't matter which order you solve it in, because when you solve the centers, the edges aren't messed up, and when you solve the edges, the centers don't get messed up. Another thing I found different was what SuperAntonioVivaldi calls the floppy parity, which is basically you need to swap this piece with this piece and everything else is fine. And the way I do it is different than his, but it probably deals with a lot more moves and it's just a lot more work. Because what I do is I leave it as this and I perform a few Red Bull algorithms and some corner swapping algorithms. So what I first do is I do a Red Bull, which most people should know, and if you're watching this, you most likely do know what it is. So I have these two flipped. So now I need to bring this piece over to here. So it's just the corner switch. So you do the corner switch, which most people should know also from watching any cuboid. If you don't, there are some tutorials available to figure that out. So we switch those two. Now we Red Bull these again to get them in another configuration that allows us to do what we need to do with it. So now we have these two switched. So now we need to bring this one back and then Red Bull it again. So we need a corner swap. So now we fix this one, and we know we fixed this one. We just have to Red Bull it again. So we have to Red Bull this. And we've taken out that floppy parity. And those are the two different things that I did differently and I thought I'd share with you guys.